Welcome to the Troy Kearns Podcast. We discuss real estate investing, entrepreneurship, and business to help you retire and become financially free. Make sure you share this podcast with someone who could benefit from it and leave us a 5-star review. It truly helps me out. This show will mentor you towards financial freedom. If I can do it, so can you.
So how was your Christmas? How was everything? Did you guys, I know you're Jewish, but did you guys have fun on Christmas?
Yeah, we relaxed. Just got to spend time with the family, hanging out. That's it. I did not do the standard Jew on Christmas.
Go to the movies and eat Chinese food? Yeah, go to the movies.
I didn't do it this year. I really, I had 2 places picked out that I really wanted to go, either Chow Mein House or China Mama. And I don't know, we just didn't make it out of the house.
It's one of those things where I didn't make it out of the house yesterday either, other than to go for a walk just to get some sunlight and some exercise. But we were everywhere today, and I could tell you the day not to go everywhere is the day after Christmas, because we went everywhere today because Eden wanted to return everything that everybody didn't like. She's like massive action, so she wanted to get rid of stuff that was not appreciated or wasn't wanted or was the wrong size. And
right, isn't this the day where all of the sales happen also? This is the day after Christmas is the craziness, right?
Yeah, I went into Dick's with her. That was we went to the UPS store, Amazon's returns. I went to Dick's, and then we returned our stuff we went to Dick's. She had the returns over there. We went to She went to Victoria's Secret. Then we went to freaking the boba tea place. And then we drove to Overland Park, which is 30 minutes from where we live here. And they went to a bunch of places. I just hung out in the car. We went into Shields, which is this huge. It makes Dick's Sporting Goods look like a boutique. Shields is like a Midwestern.
Yeah.
Like LVAC meets sports, whatever that is, But it's got a Ferris wheel on the inside of this place.
One of the greatest marketing fails ever was Dick's Sporting Goods. They took over another sporting goods company 15 years ago called Chicks. Chicks. Oh. And you would walk into the store and you would see signs that said Chicks with Dick's.
Really?
I couldn't believe it. My father called me from there. He was like, "You're not going to believe. Somebody's getting fired for this for sure."
Comment below if you ever saw Chicks with Dicks. Okay, that whether you've seen the actual advertisement itself.
Yeah. If you walked into the store and saw the sign.
All right, so one thing I want to say is, as we get older, and life becomes more about family and less about money, right? It's I just want to say how grateful I am for friends like you, and how grateful I am for just having for health and wealth, man. We don't know how long we've got to live on this earth, and it goes by quick. I know, our vision's going, our hair's gone, and we gotta enjoy one day at a time here, man.
It's so funny there. I think in Japan they invented a serum now. It's like a topical serum that you supposedly just put on your scalp and it regrows your hair.
Oh, wow.
I cannot wait for that to come out.
Is it chia?
No. No, and now there's supposedly in the final stages of FDA approval, there's an eye drop that you put the eye drops in your eyes and it restores your 20/20 vision for 8 hours.
God, man, I'll take that.
Me too.
Oh, God, I hate the fact that I've got to the other day I was like, oh, Scarlett.
You put them on the edge of your nose.
I was like, I went in to go pick up my daughter from basketball, and I'm like, is that Scarlett? Oh, I have to put on my glasses, So, all right, so let's get into real estate. So
let's get into it.
Rates are stuck at 6% despite cuts. Will 2026 finally bring us below 6% for buyers? What do you think?
For sure.
When is it going to happen? Quarter 1, quarter 2? How low is it going to go?
Well, I don't know if it's going to happen that fast, but of course, the guy that whoever Trump nominates is going to have the same view. He as much as said it the other day in the press conference. He said he's going to nominate someone that has the same view on interest rates as he does, that we're way too high, and he's going to probably try to hire someone that's as aggressive with rate cutting as he wants to be. The challenge is that guy's only one vote, but the head is the one who directs the agenda. So
how low do you think it'll go? So let's just go back a little bit. So the first time I ever remember seeing an interest rate was in 1994 or 1994 or 5-ish. Mm-hmm. I worked at Red Robin as a bus boy, and I bussed tables for this guy, Tad. Tad was a mortgage broker, and he also had to work a Red Robin waiter job. Mm-hmm. And he said, this kid's got dollar signs for eyeballs. Back then, he told me I had dollar signs for eyeballs. And so he had me come in and do some cold calling for him. And I remember I was just calling down the list, and they were at like 7.25, and he was trying to refinance them to, I think, 6.5. So yeah. I believe, and you've been in real estate since 2000. I was in real estate since 2098. So, okay, since 98. So you may remember, what were interest rates in 1998?
Mid sixes.
Let's pull up to share with the listening audience. Let's pull up to share what the historical interest rates are.
I mean, that's when the average house in Las Vegas was staying on the market about 120 days. Homes were only appreciating, 5-10% a year, maybe.
Dude, so every once in a while I have to go through, and I don't know what the hell happens, but Yahoo defaults as my search browser, which I don't even know how Yahoo's still.
Hey, you're going to make me put on my glasses now. I did not.
Oh, dude. Oh, you're good, dude. So, 2025, this will be good. So in 81, it went to 16.64%. Mm-hmm. And then it struggled to get down. It went down to 13.24% in 1983, and it stayed up for about 10 years in that range. 1992, it went down to 8.3. So it's slowly been falling.
Yeah, there we are, 1998. Yeah, 694. I said
okay, 6, right. So
yeah.
Then it jumps back up. So it's the lowest it is when you get in the real estate business. Mm-hmm. And it's been in, call it 20-something years. And then it goes from 6.9% to 8%, down to 6.9 again. And then it goes from 2002, there's just a fall.
Well, I mean, obviously they adjusted the rates down lower in 2001, 2002 because of September 11th, right? The economy was pretty devastated by that.
Yeah, but in 2019 it was 3.9%, and in 2018 it was 4.54%. In 2017 it was 3.9%.
I mean, no inflation.
No, I mean, rates were obscenely low from 2012 to 2000.
Well, I mean, let's remember where we were in 2012, right? That was like the bottom of the market. That was the Great Recession talking right there. It started in late 07, 2012 was probably the height of all of the foreclosures. That's when, one out of every 10, one out of every 10 houses in Las Vegas, or one out of every 7 houses in Las Vegas was in foreclosure. I mean, it was a train wreck is, putting it nicely.
Yeah. So I think if history is going to repeat itself,
2021, there we go again, right? That's like a year after COVID. That's, the economy was shut down. Everything was a mess.
Yeah. So, but I mean, look, rates were at 4% in 2014, 4%, 3.6% in 2000.
Sure.
It's been low. It's basically been low since 2009. It's been,
yeah, totally.
It's been low since 2009. So will we get back to 2009 rates?
In the fives? Well,
in the fives.
So what I understood from previous comments was this administration felt that interest rates were 2 points too high. And I don't remember exactly how they got at that number, but I think what they were talking about was as they measured against other world central banks, what their interest rates are versus their debt compared to what ours should be.
Well, let's look at that. Let's go there.
And I may not be saying that right.
And you may be wrong, but let's see. I mean, it's a good point that you bring up, though. So, what
they were comparing the rates of other countries compared to what their numbers were as compared to what we are, debt, GDP, all of that, and they thought that ours should be 2 points lower than it is.
Yeah, European 2%, Bank of England 3.75, Canada 2.25, Swiss 0%, Bank of Japan 0.75. So we're definitely the highest by far. You got it right.
And I don't know how that correlates to the percentage of debt that they have versus their.
What is the percentage?
The correlation of these central bank interest rates to the percentage of debt each country holds.
Let's see if this can. So much better having like AI these days, man.
I love it. It's so much better than just search engines.
Yeah. So
I know that's not like all you're supposed to use it for, but it sure does make life a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
Just gives you the answers that you're looking for.
Grok. No, each central bank's total debt. Nobody else is going to have debt. Japan 0.75. Japan 0.75, which is crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got 6.56 trillion. Bank of Japan has 698 trillion. European Bank, 6.13 billion. And Bank of England, 790 billion. Bank of Canada, not directly recent, historically smaller.
What is that squiggly line there?
I don't have any idea. Maybe around.
This is a great show. We have more questions than answers.
No, I mean, that's part of it, dude. We can't know every fucking answer. You know what I mean? Like, that's just part of it. We're not going to fucking be we're not going to be everybody's everything. All right. So let's go. So anyways, going back into that, we know for sure that rates should come down if Trump has something to do with it. Okay. Next one.
Well, I think he's only going to nominate a person that shares his worldview and his view on what those rates should be.
Well, and based on what we just looked up right now, they should be coming a lot lower.
A lot lower.
Right. All right. So let's hope for 4% interest rates. I think if we see something in the fours, we'll have a freaking booming economy again. And I think that everybody needs it, man. People don't realize that. Like you mentioned this last time, Jason, but housing pushes everything. If you got low housing, you've got low gas. If you've got low housing,
there's not a single industry that housing doesn't touch. Can't name one.
Porn.
Well, what do you think? Where do you think you watch most of that?
In your car?
No, here.
All right. So housing affordability crisis, renting still trumps buying in most cities. The big price is low inventory. Do you agree with that? How much does it cost to rent in Las Vegas right now? 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, Summerlin.
I mean, I think you're 2,500 probably.
2,500
more.
So it's doubled in the last 5 years.
Oh, easily.
Yeah,
maybe more. I mean, I'm pretty out of touch with, I was just telling this to Karis yesterday that I feel very out of touch with the normal real estate market. Yeah, you asked me about the stuff above, $1 million or $2 million. I know all of that, and although I spent most of my career in the lower price ranges, it's just lately with all of the high dollar houses we've been working in. It's just been different, but I think if I had to put a number on it, I would probably say it's somewhere between 2,500 and 3,500 for a standard 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in Summerlin.
All right, let's go into the multi-million-dollar space. All right, so let's say I want to rent a house, and I want to go rent a house in the Ridges. The Ridges is a big development in Las Vegas. Average home price has got to be north of $2 million, probably between $2 and $3 million. And there's probably a lot more expensive ones, but we'll say average is. We'll call average $2.5 million.
Yep.
Okay. What am I going to pay to rent something there?
I mean, my friend of mine just listed he has a $3.5 to $4 million semi-custom home, a Lions home. He just rented it for $20,000 a month.
$20,000 a month, then what would I have to pay to buy that? Less, right?
You're going to put, if you're in that price range, you're more than likely going to put 20% down, right? So you're going to put down, I don't know, so 800,000, you're going to get 3.2 million dollar loan at 6%. Let's say.
Yeah, so you're at $22,000 a month plus your $800 out of your pocket.
And the guys that are in that price range are going to reap all the tax benefits of writing off that mortgage payment.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so I guess the answer is if I was so the real question is if you're waiting to buy, should you wait to buy right now?
No, never. I even think even in the worst times, it was better to buy right then and there rather than wait. I think we touched on this a little bit the last time, and my opinion is, my friend Aaron says, you buy the house and so you marry the house and you date the rate, is what he says. But if you think rates are coming down, do you think you're the only one waiting to buy?
Well,
so what I'm saying right now is probably the softest the market has been since 2015. This is the absolute. So this is your best time to get a deal. So are you going to make a higher payment for the first year, maybe year and a half? Maybe, but I think that's going to be drastically outweighed by the amount of money that you'll negotiate off of the purchase price. And
not to mention,
and with the selection that you have now, you're way more inclined to get the house that you want rather than having to compete with 5 other buyers a year and a half from now.
Well, let's talk about that. If the rate goes down and the price is going up,
maybe.
Probably, right? If the demand,
maybe.
if the demand goes up, price goes up.
I think everybody assumes that the prices are going to go up right away like a rocket ship, and I'm just not sure that's the case anymore.
No, they're not going to go up right away, but they are, because what's going to happen first is you have an abundance of supply. Supply has not
right.
tanked.
You're going to have to eat that up.
Supply has not tanked, meaning that we haven't done a fall here, but we have done basically, if you bought anywhere, if you were looking at the graph, the home prices have been flat since 2022. So from 2022 to currently, home prices are flat, meaning there has not been a spike up or a spike down. But you could pick up a deal. So
right.
but on average, it's just a flat line, right? So if you were looking to sell your house, you're coming out of pocket, because
for sure.
If you bought your house in 2020, even 2021 maybe, you had a bump from 2020 to 2021, and then it's flatlined from 2022 now to current. So you have a bunch of inventory that's sitting there that's not going to sell. Once rates come down, that inventory it's not going to fall. It's going to do the same thing. It's going to just remain steady. We might have a tight little dip for just because things might come down a little bit more, and then they're going to shoot back up if rates continue to go down or stay down.
Okay. The best part about that is we get to use my favorite saying. We'll see.
So we'll see. Hey, listen, the other thing about that is the reason why it's important is how many guys waited in 2012?
Yeah, me.
How many guys waited?
I remember everybody. The second wave of foreclosures is coming. It's going to be bigger than the first. And and I waited. I could have bought every $20,000 home that came across my desk, just like you did. Mm-hmm. And I was so sure that it was coming again. And I'm still kicking myself for that one.
It's so funny that you say that. I was on the bus. I remember we were doing one of those Fidelity things, and I was with Tom Blanchard, and I'm talking to everybody. I'm so excited. I'm telling everybody I'm buying houses. And a bunch of guys get on there and they say, but it's going to get lower. And I was like, and I'll buy more. How much lower is it going to get for this to make sense when I'm buying
a 3-bedroom? I'm buying a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house, not in a great neighborhood, but it was $22,000. And it's livable.
Yeah, and those same houses are worth $400,000 now.
Pretty close. I would not be surprised at all.
I mean, I would say the lowest of the low. I sold my last house 4 years ago in Vegas. Well, I've got one more still on Eureka Street. But I sold my last house in Vegas. I paid 15 grand for it. It's on 1204 Cunningham. And it was sat there. It was on the market. It was Cameron Zan's listing. It was on the market for 15 grand, sitting there for months. And I was like, I'll buy it. 15 grand.
My God.
Kept the same carpet in that house for I guess what, 15 years.
I think Cam's lowest price listing now is like 22 million.
What's up with that guy?
He's killing it. I saw him the other day. He's smashing it.
He's doing good.
He's got a listing he's doing unbelievable. I'm going to see one of his houses on Monday in the Ridges, but he's got a house in the Summit Club listed for $30 million.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
People are buying houses in Vegas.
Yeah. So look at that jump. I mean, that's some appreciation right there, from $15,000 listings to $30 million.
Cameron Zand selling $15,000 houses from OMZ Mortgage.
For sure. He's good.
And now he's selling $10 million houses, $20 million houses, $30 million houses.
Yeah.
All right. So the bottom line is, guys,
dream rises to the top.
Whether you're an investor or whether you are, let's talk about a couple strategies. Number one, I'm building homes. I'm buying you know that I'm buying lots right now. I'm locking down lots. I know that interest rates are going to come around, even if they don't. Like waiting is never a strategy, right? That's number one. Number two, I'm buying rental properties. I'm not flipping right now. Flipping it for me is like, it's too risky right now. I'll flip it if it makes sense, but I'd rather buy rentals. So those are my two strategies. Can you still flip? Yeah. You better have the margins right, though.
Totally.
So like,
the people that we're most excited about funding right now are our home builders. We're starting to do some land development financing. These guys are preparing the dirt, getting their lots ready to go vertical. They all think that they're going to deliver, not just the lots, but the finished houses in 2026. And I think they're right.
Can you guys so it's interesting that you mentioned that. So I'm going to be doing some building of some houses, as you know, in Washington State. But what I'd like to do out here in Missouri is maybe some apartment construction and some development on some of that stuff. Can you guys do that type of lending as well?
We do. So we do the fix and flip for multifamily. So if you bought an old apartment building like that one that you were looking at,
I went and drove by it. What happened with that guy?
It's dialed in now. Now we're ready to go.
Well, if he wants me in on the deal, let you know what he's got to do.
No, not that one. The one that you were looking at auction.
Oh, that one already went. The guy bought it for $8 million.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
so we have that dialed in now.
I'm talking about the one you were mentioning on Southwest Traffic Way with.
I got him Freddie Mac financing.
Okay, great, cool. All right, so land right now. If you're listening right now, buy rentals, buy land, get your development going, and I would say flip if it makes sense. If it makes sense, if you don't,
the turn cycles are too quick right now.
Yeah. Affordability crisis. So we know waiting is not a strategy. If you wait, you'll always regret it. It's just one of those things. You can't time the market, I think, is the long story short. So increasing inventory and buying power. Inventory is up 20 to 30% in key markets. Flipping power back to the buyers after years of a frenzy. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, this is exactly what I was saying, that if you're going to buy now, because the shift has taken place back to the buyer. The buyer does have more options. The buyer does have more negotiating power. You will be able to get a better house for less money. So this is the time. While the market is soft, get in.
Make low offers.
Make low offers for sure.
Dude, I just walked a house the other day. I made an offer for 80 on a $105,000 house. So I went and walked it. Once I don't even walk houses until they get accepted. So I go walk it. It's 80 grand. So I'm 25 off list price, or you can call that 20%, 25%. And I go back in there. I'm like, hit him for another 20 grand. Tell him I'll close. I was like, it needs more work than I thought. I'll pay 60. I'll close right now. I'm like, who's your buyer? I'm your buyer.
Mm-hmm.
Cash today.
Listen, we're in contract with that big house that I have right now.
No
I took
way.
Way less than I wanted to. Way less. But listen, I know where the market is.
Do you want to share?
Huh?
Do you want to share?
I'll share when it closes.
Okay. Can you give us, just say what you're listed for right now?
6.7 million.
6.7 million. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and are you going to take a loss on that deal?
No.
Okay. Well, that's good. But that's been a tough deal for you anyways, right?
Yeah. Just, we hired a contractor in the beginning. He was a friend of mine. So, we didn't contract him the way we would normally, lock him down with building contracts. And he was 151 days late delivering the structure. And he didn't file any of the plan revisions with the city. Cost us almost a year to untangle that mess. Just the structure. The city gave us stop orders. All it was a mess. Yeah. But the house turned out spectacular. I mean, it turned out really amazing. Fortunately, I bought it right, and the market took care of me and skyrocketed here. So,
what'd you pay for that house originally?
$2.2 million.
And what'd you put into it? A lot? Million?
About two.
Okay. Wow. Well, you got a lot of money, and I hope you close that one. I hope it goes well.
Yeah, me too.
I know the buyers are getting an excellent.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, listen, man. I know that the buyers are every property that you sell. If anybody has listening right now, they haven't checked out any of our videos that we've done together on the luxury flips that you do.
Yeah.
Jason knows that he's a market maker, dude. There's certain guys who are a market maker. He comes into these properties, he sees the vision, he does these cool things in the houses. They're dialed in. Maybe we can link to that house just to show everybody what's the address. Have the guy pull it.
Yeah, 1429 Iron Hills.
1429 Iron Hills.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I mean, we built a full Chanel boutique closet for her closet. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah. Are you done flipping that type of shit?
Hey, I'm done. We right now we really want to focus on the lending company. The lending company is where we think the future is for us anyway. It allows me to use my entire nationwide Rolodex. It's taken me, taken me 30 years to build that. So now I finally get to use it.
Nice. Home prices, slow growth or declines. We kind of touched on that. So national prices are flatlining or dipping. I think that's the same everywhere. I think every market is about the same throughout the country, unless there's a micro market where there's like super job growth in that area. What would that be like?
Miami.
Seattle, Miami.
Yeah, Miami's big right now. South Florida, but even like I have a house in South Florida in Palm Beach Gardens, and that one softened up pretty good too.
Yeah, that's the one. Do you still have the same renters in that house?
No. I kicked them out a little while ago. I just demoed the entire interior. We're going to start working on that, so I have a nice vacation spot.
Oh, so you're going to turn that into a vacation home?
Yeah.
They were in there for a while though, no?
They were, and it was great. They paid the home mortgage while I got the rest of these houses off of my plate, and now they're gone, and now we're ready to start this one.
Nice. All right, so this is the long story short. Guys, if you are listening right now, women too, like, buy real estate. Like, if you're a true real estate investor, you are not looking to time the market. You are looking to buy the market. People are always like, oh, well, and I actually want to touch on this. This is not on the topic right now, but I do want to touch on this. So I was listening to Grant Cardone interview a guy named I can't remember, Christopher Whale or some guy, some Bitcoin expert. And I could find out in a second here. But anyways, he was talking about Bitcoin. And everybody's bullish on Bitcoin. And Cardone is back in his real estate with Bitcoin. And, to me, hey, you know what? It's a good investment strategy if you don't care about gambling. But that is something that's not collateralized. It has no cash flow. What's your opinion about Bitcoin, Jason?
I mean, I have a lot of opinions about it. I don't know that any of them are valid or right. It's just I guess maybe I'm just not familiar with how the blockchain works, but I don't know. I do think it's gambling. I know a lot of people have made a lot of money. There's tons of people like the Bitcoin, the Bitcoin only crowd. Those guys just, they're so religious about it. I don't know, like stuff that's just out there in the tech cloud. I'm just not sure that I fully embrace it.
Well, if you want to talk about a boom or bust type of mentality, houses are credit driven. So if credit is good and credit can be borrowed, that's why everything's back on interest rates. We're going to be expensive, right? Just like if you remember looking at a condo when they weren't loaning on condos, what happens to the condos? Condos they tanked. Mm-hmm. When you're doing Bitcoin and you don't have anything, like it's not worth anything. It's worth the perception or what people think the reality of whatever it's worth. So, yeah, who's going to make the money? The guy who gets out and times the market correctly. And how do you do that? You don't know. You're sitting there nervous all day. You're going, okay, I bought it for 80. It goes down to 20. When do I sell? When it goes back up to 90? Are you selling at 81? Or you know what I mean? Like it's so listening to this guy, it was kind of funny. He was talking to Cardone and he's really talking down to Cardone and he's telling him, dude, you just got to go all the way in. When it's a situation, and I'm like, you're such a schmuck, dude. I don't care if you're worth you're worth $8 billion because you made a good bet one time. That doesn't make you a market expert. Like we could talk about Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban, in my opinion, is a one-hit wonder. He went public with broadcast.com and then broadcast.com. He exited for like $2 billion and he's worth $2 billion. Like that, like he hasn't done anything with his money.
Yeah. Right. It was $2 billion to him, I think, right? Isn't his net worth now like $6 billion now?
I mean, inflation, like whatever. Maybe he bought the Mavericks. He sold it to Sheldon Adelson's wife, Miriam Adelson. But right. Mark, besides buying the Mavericks, what has Mark Cuban done?
I have no idea. I don't follow him that much.
Yeah, dude. So what I'm saying is you got to get a little bit lucky sometimes. And then if you want to really be someone, you got to keep reinvesting.
Yeah. My father used to say little mazel never hurt anybody.
Mazel. What's mazel?
Luck.
Oh, yeah. Little mazel never hurt anybody. All right. Man, I am so happy that you turned into the Millionaire Mentorship Podcast. It's something that I've been working on for over 3 years right now. We're up to 150 podcast episodes. A lot of them are virtual. A lot of them are in studio, which is what we prefer. If you have a guest that you think that should be on our podcast, all you got to do is comment who it is. And we'll reach out to them, or if you want to reach out to them and reach out to us, we'd love to have them on a show. We're looking for entertaining, inspirational people that, just like you hear on the podcast every week, that can bring value and help our listening audience achieve their goals. If that's something for you, comment down below and let us know. Okay, AI and tech and real estate. AI valuations, virtual tours, predictive tools, booming, game changer, or job killer?
I mean, I think they're all separate, right? So let's take them one at a time. AI boom for every.
No. We're talking about AI as affecting the entire real estate market through valuations, through virtual tours, predictive tools, everything. I mean, you could call it virtual staging.
Well, job killer for who? I think for every job that's lost, you're going to have another one pop up somewhere. So I used to be really bullish on the real estate agent profession, because, me and a lot of the other people that I know that are real estate agents, I always thought that they were, people that really brought value to their clients. And I think what we're seeing more and more is the agents that are out there now are bringing less and less value. And, the agent that goes and sells 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes that are brand new from Pulte Homes. Like, I mean, do you really need that agent? Do you need an agent to walk into Pulte Homes and buy one of their properties? I'm not so sure you do.
I guess it depends on what kind of a consumer you are.
Right. But I think that I think at the ultra high end, for sure, those people are going to want somebody there as a buffer. They're going to want somebody there to show their home, to accentuate their home, to do all of those things. Are commissions going to get compressed? Maybe, probably. I mean, commissions have been being compressed for years. Anybody says you can't negotiate commissions, they haven't seen Steve Hawk's billboards lately.
Is he still running that 1%?
Yeah, of course. He's been the 1% guy forever. Like, there's a million people that you can negotiate commissions with. I mean, sure, you're going to have some people that, did what I used to do years ago. And, will you negotiate your commission? No. Any other questions? There's a million guys that'll do that. And then there's a bunch of people that'll, that want the deal, that are hungry for the deal. And they'll of course let you negotiate.
So side note, prior to Steve Hawks coming up with the 1%, I came up with it. Before he did, I knew that that's where the market was headed, and Ito would not let me do it. And that's why we ended up, like that killed it, because I knew that was the way to capture the marketplace.
Well, Steve was doing that long before you even came into town. He used to
Correct.
He used to do 3.9 and 4.9% listings. That's what his deal was. He would do 3.9 and 4.9. 3.9, basically, if he brought the buyer, right? And then it was 4.9 if somebody else represented the buyer. That's what his deal was. He was always the guy that was negotiating his fees, always trying to be just a hair under everybody else.
And is he still the king out there for the cheap listings?
Yeah, I mean, he's pounding away. Steve Hawks, I think, is a marketing genius as far as residential real estate agents go. His face is always on camera. His face is everywhere, on every billboard, on every bus stop bench, and he makes the volume play. And I just, everybody's got their own business model, but he's for sure the king of that business model, for sure.
So sustainability, climate risks, soaring insurance in flood zones like places like Florida, push for green builds and climate threats. What do you feel about that?
I'm a full-fledged climate denier. I don't think that. I think everybody does these green energy initiatives, and they take the carbon footprint from one thing and switch it over to the next, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like when you manufacture the solar plants and you got to pay for that. It's just because it's not emitting anything doesn't mean it's not leaving a carbon footprint somewhere else.
Not just that, the waste when you have to throw those things away. Yep. Anybody who's seen those wind farms on the way to Palm Springs knows what a joke these things are. They're rusting, leaving oil everywhere. They're killing every single bird in the area. They're a mess.
It's just, here's the deal. If you could talk climate, now we can have a reason to sell you the thing based on your emotions of you wanting to be a good person.
And all of these guys, the seas are rising. Then why are you buying houses on the beach? Obama has a house on the water in Martha's Vineyard. He has another house on the water in Hawaii. If the climate thing was for real, why does the president who pushed it the most have two houses on the beach?
Good question.
Al Gore, house on the beach. Everybody else who's a wealthy climate person, house right on the water.
Well, here's the other one.
Riddle me that.
Do you think Obama's taking a plane there?
Of course. Private jet. He's got a clean private jet.
Do you think that Al Gore is taking a private plane there?
Yeah, he buys carbon credits.
Oh, well, that'll fix everything. That'll fix everything.
Yeah, he buys carbon credits.
Well, yeah, it's a whole game. Even the wetlands. Do you know about this?
I don't.
All right. So in areas like Mississippi, Seattle, Florida, if you're going to build something in a wetland, and they call it a critical area, you can buy your way out of that if you buy wetland credits. You know what I mean? Like, you can still destroy the wetland as long as you're willing to buy the credit.
That's so crazy.
So it's the same grift. So the bottom line is, if it's a
This
government,
whole thing has just turned into a religion, like a religion based on grift.
it's a grift. It's like the other day I heard that Gavin Newsom's been trying to solve California's homeless population for
24 billion. The 24 billion didn't do it, or whatever they spent.
Oh, dude, I think he spent something like $60 billion, and you've got more homeless people than you ever have. And yeah. So if they're pulling the emotions, there's two things.
They're bringing the homeless people from everywhere else and putting them in California, or the homeless people from everywhere else are figuring out how to get to California so they can get all these benefits.
Well, and the other thing is there's a business that's created. Who's setting up the tents? Who's building the places for the homeless people?
And the people at the nonprofit that are getting paid $300,000 a year, they have no incentive to solve the problem.
Jason, nonprofits do not steal. Just look at the Somalians. Just look at the Somalians. They didn't steal a dime in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about it.
Totally. Like the whole thing is the whole NGO nonprofit thing is
the grift.
The whole thing is a grift.
Yeah, it's a grift. All right. So moving on to commercial real estate shifts. Data centers exploding based on AI demand. I think I heard Mark Zuckerberg is going to build he's saying he's going to build a data center as big as Manhattan. Okay.
Wow.
And then Elon Musk's going to put one on the moon or Mars or something like that. Office conversions. Yeah. What's your thought about the commercial real estate market?
So it's so interesting to me that a year ago, everybody was talking about this is the next thing that's going to ruin the United States economy, the commercial debt bubble that was coming. And I said the same thing then that I'm going to say now. And that is, none of these banks are going to foreclose on any of these properties. They are going to figure out how to do workouts with the property owners. Every single one of these banks had a room full of math nerds calculate how much they lost in the Great Recession by foreclosing on all of these properties. And they have all said to themselves, we ain't doing that again. So
well, and they righted it this time because if you remember, and people don't remember this, and they don't even know this, but you pay something on a property, most everyone, unless you have put down 20%, you pay mortgage insurance. Mm-hmm. Most borrowers pay mortgage insurance, and mortgage insurance covers the lender when you default. So now that's not the same in commercial, because in commercial, there's generally not mortgage insurance. Mm-hmm. So in commercial,
by the way, how'd that mortgage insurance work out back in 2012?
Well, they didn't have it. That's why they changed it.
Oh, they did. They had it. All those companies went bankrupt.
Well, here's the thing. They didn't have it to the degree they have it now. Because if you remember, FHA didn't have lifetime mortgage insurance.
So you're gonna have to grok that one. I think you're wrong.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, 100%. We're going right now.
Grok.
100%. We're going right now. We're going right now.
Seeking everlasting truth, grok.
Yeah, we're grokking that shit right now. Okay, when
talk to me.
Did the FHA mortgage? I'm gonna tell you it happened in 2010. And mortgage insurance become a lifetime requirement. 2013.
Hold on, but what was it before?
Okay, what was it before? So it doesn't matter now. It was if you had 78% or less, it would drop it. Now it just doesn't matter. You have it, 5 years.
You have it for the entire time, huh?
2013. So that was what they learned from that whole situation. And why would they do that? You want the answer?
Sure.
All right. So let's break down how this whole situation works. Okay. I am Bank of America. I'm loaning the Abrams family a loan for an FHA loan. I got to give you 3.5% down. I'm giving you a 96.5% loan. You're putting 3.5% down. And if you default, I was covered for, like you said, I was covered, right? For that short period of time, 5 years or up to 78%, then the mortgage insurance would fall off after 78%. So let's say that your loan value went up or you paid down your debt, whichever happened. Once it became 78% of the existing loan balance, I could ask for it to be removed, similar to private mortgage insurance, which is different than FHA mortgage insurance. They're two different things. One's private, and that I don't know what the private things have changed. We could look into that too. But now I just got my clock cleaned because I only had that and a lot. And so now as the lender, FHA is just insuring the loan. I'm servicing the loan if I'm Bank of America. So Bank of America also, or any of these other companies, they also get made whole. So they're getting paid more because who wrote the rules? Did the FHA write the rules or did the banks write the rules?
Oh, the banks wrote the rules for sure.
So the banks learned their lesson when they got their clock cleaned in 2008, 9, 10, and 11, and 12. And 12 was the bottom of the market. So in 2013, which we just saw, that is when they instituted lifetime mortgage insurance. So even if you default, they're making more money that you're paying for their insurance. So it's the only situation where who pays for your insurance?
Oh, I do.
But who are you?
I mean, my company does.
Who are you insuring?
I'm insuring myself.
And the lender.
Well, I don't have any lenders.
Okay. So you are insuring yourself.
Yeah.
But if you're borrowing, who are you insuring?
Right, the lender for sure.
Right. But it's a requirement that you have insurance, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's against the law if you don't have insurance, right?
Correct.
So who wrote that rule? You think the insurance company wrote that rule?
Right, for sure.
For sure. So my whole point is with FHA, it's not an actual insurance company. It's the government's bailing out the big banks with government money that the banks wrote the bill on. It's a fact, Jack. That's what it is. That's 100% what it is. All right.
It's just like a circular firing squad.
Dude, they just learned
in a circle.
Yeah, they just learned their lesson. All right. So
back to the commercial real estate shifts. That I want to talk about, because it was interesting a year ago that everybody was talking about this was the next big thing to happen. This was going to crush the economy. And, we're doing the loan for that property in Kansas City that I told you about, the 163 units or whatever.
Yep.
And I was talking to the bank that we're pushing that loan towards. And we were talking about, how this year, it's been a little bit tight, but the bank that they get their money from just gave them like $4 billion, an extra $4 billion to loan out in 2026. And they're loosening all of their restrictions and they're telling them it's go time. So it's so interesting that in 1 year, it's completely changed. The sentiment has gone from complete doom and gloom, and now everybody is talking about clear blue skies ahead.
So my only thinking with commercial real estate is office is dead.
Yeah, office is tough.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of conversions. We've seen it in New York. You've seen it in the major metropolitan areas. They've actually passed a lot of laws in other areas to give people basically office credit for converting those into apartment buildings because there's still a lack of affordability. So I think you'll see many other states and cities adopt that and start taking their excess inventory and turning it into apartment buildings.
Yeah,
because the population is still growing. We're still bringing people in, and there's still a lack of housing.
That space has always interested me, because although the steel and concrete structures are similar in looks from the exterior, and I guess they're similar in architecture and how they're made structurally sound and whatnot. On the inside, they're completely different. I mean, the plumbing is just a completely different story. In most office buildings, there's 2-3 bathrooms per floor, maybe
100%. Yeah,
and now you can convert that to 12, 15 apartments.
Well, it's a gut job. You're not, it's a gut job. That's why they got to get incentive.
Even still, I mean, I think that's a big undertaking.
You got it. We'll talk about my property. So my property
And most commercial office buildings don't have any balconies. They don't have any windows that work. So now you'll be able to look out, right? But you'll have zero ability to get any fresh air into your place. I don't know.
I didn't even
I don't
think
know.
about that, but you're right about that. You're absolutely right about that.
Is it
And
a big art box? Who wants to live like that? I don't know.
listen, man, when there's a demand and there's a need and there's a way, you got to like a lot of these guys in Kansas City. I mean, there's every office out here is being converted.
Yeah.
So, and I've toured a lot of them. You just have to amenitize the places. Like if you don't have a open window, you got to be able to fart and walk outside in your small dog park.
Well, I think the difference is in Kansas City, you have a lot of those more old style buildings where they have smaller windows where those can be replaced. What I'm talking about is in the bigger cities, like you mentioned, like New York and whatnot. A lot of those buildings are just big steel and glass structures. Like remember we took a ride by the old Federal Reserve building in Kansas City when we were there. I like that building a lot.
Yeah.
And that building is filled with small windows. I mean, how hard would it be to replace all of those windows and make those working windows? And you could probably fairly easily do that, relatively speaking. But you get to one of those, skyscrapers in New York that was built in, I don't know, the 70s, 80s or whatever, when they tried to do all glass office buildings. I mean, now people are talking about converting that. I think that's another ball game.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that. So there's actually a few properties out here in Kansas City, right by my house, called Ambassador. And the guy they're literally, actually, I'll show you one right now because I was in just to show you kind of what you can get. This one right here is the one I'm talking about. So if this building right here, I could buy this building right now for $2.4 million. It's 86,373 square feet. All of these, there's a bunch of these. You can see them across the street here too.
Mm-hmm.
5 out of this, I think there's 6 total buildings are converted into office or converted into apartment buildings. And I walked in them and they are odd, but people like them. But the guy who has converted them.
And those windows you can probably switch to opening.
I think he even did, I think if we go here and
what did it cost to convert that? 20 million?
Dude, it was 20 million bucks to convert my office. I would imagine these are a little bit less, but I do know that because of how tall they are, they're under what is called skyscraper architectural, which requires like a whole new bunch of bullshit from the city. So let's see if we could find these real quick. Lofts at Tiffany Springs. So there we go.
Interesting.
Right. So this is, you got 2 reviews up there. They're between 1149 to 1500 square foot, and they're range from 460 square feet to 910 square foot. Let's take a peek at them. You can see what they look like. But like I told you, I walked a couple of them just to see, but this is what they look like. Like, it looks like you're walking into an office building.
Yeah, but it's pretty nice. I've seen a lot of apartment buildings in Kansas City. They're not that nice.
Yeah, it's not a bad one, right? He did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And it happened quick. This guy actually owns the Hy-Vee Arena as well. Anyhow, mid-sized markets like Kansas City are surging over coastal hotspots for affordability. What do you think about that? Do you agree?
Well, for sure.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, listen, a lot of the places in the coastal cities, they've basically run out of land, and places like Kansas City have nothing but land as far as the eye can see.
So what's going to happen with the California coast?
So I haven't been out there, and I really want to go. At first we had a lot of developers and builders that were looking to us for financing, and we wanted to do all of it. And they were all saying, oh yeah, they're going to speed up the permitting process. And of course I gave them we'll see. And when I tell you, out of the probably 100 guys that we spoke to, none of them have come back for financing, because I told them, hey, before you get this financing, you should make sure that your permitting is in line. You should, you're going to take at least, 2 years to build these big customs anyway. You should really try to do the land acquisition yourself, get through permitting, and let me refinance you out with a construction loan. And I'll give you 75% of your land cost or the land value back at the end. And we haven't heard a peep from any of them. A friend of mine lives not too far from there. He said there's been 4 houses that have started. I can't verify that, but I do want to go look. But he said there's only been 4 houses that have started being built. He said none of the ones in Malibu have started. None of them on the water.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard the permitting's been a nightmare. Thank you, Gavin Newsom. He could have easily just said, hey, you know what? Let's reduce the red tape. You guys just lost your house to a fire. If you had a house, it can go back the way it was,
Well, I mean, it's, Gavin's the easy one to kick when he's down, right? But for sure, it's Karen Bass and the rest of Los Angeles. All that permitting stuff is local. It's not statewide.
Yeah, but he could supersede it. He's the governor. Yes. Yeah, 100%. It's up to the state, the local level. But what trumps local? State.
Yep.
So
I don't know that that's a fact in this case, but
it's a fact everywhere.
I'm sure there's plenty of blame to go around, right?
It's a fact everywhere. Okay, if I go and commit a crime, but it's federally not illegal and it's illegal in that state, then I could appeal it to the federal court. I'm not going to go get in trouble.
Right, but I guess what I'm getting at is it's the local municipality that actually issues the permit. It's the local inspector who actually inspects the property, and I don't even know that the state has a mechanism to supersede that or to take it over.
Could. All they have to do is say, guess what? We're taking it from you, and we're going to issue permits, and we're going to write an executive order that says all of these houses can go back to be built the way that they were, or they could do something like, if you're doing the exact same thing, we're going to give you whatever. They could come up with a lot of solutions, but
right. It certainly doesn't seem that there's been any attempt to think outside the box or to, I hate that term, or to just try to get creative. Creative to move things along. I think that California in general, Los Angeles and that municipality in particular has put so many roadblocks, so much red tape in front of builders before all of this happened, that whenever you added this to the system, it just slowed everything to a stop. They're just anti-building there. They're anti. I think what was happening, I think they announced for a while that they were trying to get higher density in those areas because, they definitely don't want, more big custom homes going there when you can get, on the same lot, you could get a 16-unit apartment building. It's a complicated political situation, I think. I think in Los Angeles, they definitely favor multi-unit construction over rich guy neighborhoods for sure.
Yeah, they should just sue. All those homeowners should get together and sue the state. They should just sue the state. Say you guys failed to, maintain. Fire code it's so interesting, and I kind of want to end it right here. I have such a problem with fire code. So whenever you're doing anything, and the U.S. is crazy with their fire code.
For sure. For good reason.
Well, I don't know if for good reason.
We've had a lot of this country has a history of a lot of rough fires, right? Taking a lot of lives.
Right. So in Ireland, which I just got back from, you have fire doors. You don't have any sprinkler systems.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably a city is a city is a city, right? Like,
sure.
But we build stuff out of nothing. The fire code is an entire business, right? It's the same thing as climate control and all that other shit.
Yeah, totally.
And so, like, if you give someone an emotional reason to be, because for good reason, you said, yeah, I understand. If you've got a multifamily property, you should probably have sprinklers in it, right? But if I've got an office space, why do I need sprinklers?
Garden or high rise?
What's that?
Garden style or high rise?
Call it high rise.
Okay. Well, then I think you probably do need sprinklers because you're going to want to give people time to get out if a fire starts. And a sprinkler, although it's not going to solve the problem, it certainly could give people the extra time that they need to get down the stairwell.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a whole situation with just fire code in general. I mean, I know that you're going to lose some people. That's part of life, but you're going to, I just don't, if you can't get these guys to respond in time, someone's got to do the job, right? Like, I just don't, like, I have a bunch of properties with sprinklers in them, and all I have is problems. I have problems with flooding. I have problems with pumps. I have problems with everything. And, you go and you say, well, if it saves one life, it's worth it. But I don't know, man. I just feel like,
it's easy to be cavalier when it's not your people in danger, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I think that, like, no, I just compare it to other countries. I just don't think it's common sense. I just think that, I think you should get a discount from insurance companies for having fire sprinklers.
For sure. 100%.
And you should pay more if you don't. And that should be the situation. Let the insurance companies shop to see what's what. But to require it from a state level or from a federal level, whatever it is. And now, because I'm grandfathered in, now those lives aren't valuable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm grandfathered in. I have this 100-year-old building. It's got apartments everywhere, but it's never been updated. So it's a safer building. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't, if you can't make it the same for everybody, then.
Well, don't you think that's kind of built into your insurance rate? This apartment building that we're financing in Kansas City, that was one of the challenges, right? Every bank that we talked to, they liked my borrower. They liked the building per se. They liked what the numbers looked like on paper. But what they didn't like was the age of the building. They felt that there were risks that came along with that building, so they didn't want to finance it. And I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with insurance, right? That if you put that building right next to a building that was built in 2024 with all of the bells and whistles of fire code and all of that stuff, the insurance rates or the financing ability is going to be completely different. All the banks that said no to this building over here because it was old are saying hell yes and giving you a spectacular rate because this is a brand new building with all of the bells and whistles. I mean, that's the market working.
Yeah, 100%. I just, like I said, coming back from Ireland, I'm looking at everything. I'm like,
you travel other places and you see the way they do things, and you wonder, like, why don't we do it that way?
Well, we build like shit. Wood is definitely a lot more, what do they call it, combustible than concrete.
Yeah, right. I mean,
if you really want to solve the problem, make it a requirement to build out of cinder block.
Yeah, I mean, Instagram is in my brain, right? Like that algorithm has me dialed in. It has all of the videos of all the newest building materials that they're using, that kind of foam that stacks up like Legos that they fill with some kind of insulated concrete or whatever. And you look at all of that stuff and you go, I mean, guys are putting together that house with two hands. They're grabbing those little styrofoam blocks and putting them together like this. And you're like, man, why are we not doing that here? Like, why is it looked at, frowned upon to be using these kind of updated building materials? Why is it frowned upon? I mean, I had a big hard on for a long time for prefabricated housing. Like, I just always thought that everybody would be much better served if their home was built in a factory, right? Machined down to 1/1000th of an inch, and then, trucked out in like cubes, and those cubes were just craned into place. And, you kind of put a house together with like multiple cube structures, and I hired an engineer one time to try to figure out how to do it. Like, how would we get the gas lines? How would that coupling happen? If you're building, say, an entire house out of 4x4 panels, how would you get the gas line to secure between the panels?
Easy.
It didn't go anywhere, but
easy. I mean, you're just stubbed in at the foundation, and you just fucking, or you hook out afterwards. I mean, there's going to be a main.
No, I mean, I'm talking about as the gas lines as you go through walls, right? So our idea was to be able to build a house out of 4-foot by 4-foot panels, right? And everything was included in that panel. Like, it had the connections for plumbing. It had each panel had the wiring situated for electrical, plumbing, gas. And so the challenge became, as you put that panel in place, how would you then interlock those connections to be safe?
I mean, it seems like you would just be able to do it just like assembly and anything else. But I understand what you're saying. I'm not the one doing it. All right, man. So Merry Christmas. Happy New Year if I don't talk to you. Anything else you want to sign off with before we rock and roll?
No. Everybody, I hope that you counted your blessings with your health and your family. Amen. This year. And again, wishing everybody, as a Jewish person, I love living in a Christian country. I love wishing everybody Merry Christmas. I think this time of year is amazing. Yeah. And no matter what your religion is, I think you should just take this time, or if you don't have one, you should take this time and spend it with your family and just look back on the year and look forward to a new year. Happy New Year, everybody. Merry Christmas. All of that good stuff.
I couldn't have said it better myself, man. I could have said it better myself. All right, guys. Peace. Hey, thank you so much for tuning into our podcast right now. I am so happy that you are here. You are in the right spot to be getting inspired by other people that have just achieved their goals so that you can achieve your goals. Do me a favor. Leave us a 5-star review. It really helps us grow. And give us comments and feedbacks. We read those. It helps us grow. The most important person in this podcast is the listener, right? And so if you give us your feedback, it will allow us to create a better podcast for you. And make sure you enjoy the show and leave us a 5-star review.